Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, make sure to stick around because today's story is one of the most unbelievable, heart-pounding, judge-shocking moments ever captured on a Got Talent stage. And yes, it involves Simon Cowell, the king of honest judging, the man who has heard everything, the guy almost impossible to impress. But on this day, he wasn't just impressed. He was stunned, frozen, practically leaning out of his chair because when a Filipino contestant walked on stage and started singing Elvis Presley, Simon Cowell simply couldn't believe his ears. What happened next left the entire audience breathless. And trust me, you're going to want to watch every second of this. So let's dive in. The show begins like any other audition day. The judges are in their seats, the audience is settling in, and Simon Cowell is scanning the room with that classic expression. Calm, focused, trying to guess what kind of audition he's about to witness next. Simon has seen thousands of singers from all over the world. He knows when someone is nervous, when someone is bluffing, and when someone is about to surprise him. But even he didn't expect what was coming. Then the stage door opens. A young Filipino performer steps in, dressed simple, humble, not showy, not flashy. You know those contestants who walk on stage and instantly give you the feeling that they're not there to compete, they're there to prove something. That was him. He looked around with a soft smile, waved to the crowd, and then finally turned toward the judges. Simon leaned forward slightly. You could tell he was curious. He gave that polite nod he gives when he senses a contestant might have something special. The host backstage whispered to the camera that the contestant had grown up listening to Elvis Presley, studying every note, every tone, every breath. But the judges didn't know that yet. Simon asked his name. He answered with full respect. His voice was steady, but you could feel the emotion behind it. He explained that he was Filipino, that he grew up in a small town where Elvis records weren't easy to find, and that he'd learned to sing by listening to old CDs and online clips. He said his dream was to be on this stage, not to copy Elvis, but to honor him. You could see the sincerity. Even Simon softened a bit, giving a small smile. Then the lights dim. The music cue begins. A slow, suspenseful intro that already sounds a little like Elvis. The audience leans forward. Simon folds his arms, studying the contestant carefully. And then the first note comes out. Instant goosebumps. It wasn't just that the singer sounded like Elvis. It was the emotion, the accuracy, the feeling. The texture of his voice had that warm, deep, rich tone Elvis was famous for. It wasn't imitation. It felt natural. The entire room reacted at the same time. People's eyes shot wide open. Some stood up instantly. Even the judges' jaws dropped. And Simon, who almost never reacts instantly, raised his eyebrows in pure shock. It was the kind of reaction that only happens once in a long time. The contestant continued, and with each note the crowd grew louder. His voice had this incredible mix of classic Elvis charm and modern clarity. When he hit the chorus, the energy in the room exploded. People clapped in rhythm, cheering, shouting, amazed that this sound was coming from someone so young, so humble, so calm on stage. Simon Cowell shook his head in disbelief. Not annoyed. Amazed. He leaned forward, smiling almost like a proud mentor. Every time the singer moved into a deeper note, Simon looked at the other judges like he was saying, "Are you hearing what I'm hearing? This is insane." Halfway through the performance, the contestant did something that sealed the moment in every viewer's memory. He switched tone. He transitioned from the deep Elvis resonance to a higher soulful belt, proving that he wasn't just mimicking Elvis, he was a real artist with real skill. He brought his own heart into the performance, and at that moment the entire audience stood up as one. A full standing ovation before the performance even ended. Even Simon stood up. Simon Cowell does not stand easily. It takes something exceptional, something rare, something unforgettable to make him rise from his chair. But this Filipino singer had done exactly that. Simon's face was glowing with respect, appreciation, and that special look he gives only to performers who truly surprise him. The contestant didn't let the pressure affect him. He kept going, delivering each line with passion and confidence, owning the stage like a seasoned performer. When he reached the final note, a powerful, long, sustained note that filled the entire theater, people screamed, cheered, applauded like it was the finale of a concert. When it finished, the room burst into applause so loud the cameras shook. The host backstage jumped with excitement. The other judges were shaking their heads in disbelief, clapping uncontrollably. And Simon Cowell, he couldn't stop smiling. He even laughed because he was genuinely impressed, genuinely surprised, genuinely moved. Then Simon asked him the question everyone was thinking. How is it possible that someone from the other side of the world sounds this close to one of the greatest voices in history? The contestant explained that in the Philippines, music is everywhere. It's in the streets, in the homes, in celebrations, in daily life. He said that singing was part of who he was, and Elvis was the artist who connected him to music, to dreams, to a bigger world. He talked about practicing for years, never having money for singing lessons, learning through passion alone. Simon listened with real kindness. He nodded, respecting every word. He told the contestant that he loved his story, loved his voice, and loved how he honored Elvis without copying him. Simon said that it takes real talent to take an iconic voice and make it sound fresh again. And he said that the singer had done exactly that. The audience went wild. The judges gave their comments, each one praising him for different reasons: the control, the tone, the presence, the emotion. But everyone was secretly waiting for what Simon would say next. People know that Simon's approval means everything. And then it happened. Simon looked him straight in the eyes, smiled genuinely, and said, "You know what? That was absolutely incredible." The room exploded once again. But Simon wasn't done. He took a deep breath, glanced at the other judges, and said something that made the crowd roar even louder. He said that this might be one of the best Elvis-inspired performances he had heard on any Got Talent stage. He told the contestant that people would remember this audition for years. Then came the votes. Of course, it was a yes. Not just any yes. It was an enthusiastic yes from every single judge. The contestant broke into a smile so bright that even Simon couldn't help smiling back. The host rushed out, hugging him backstage, celebrating with him as the audience continued cheering. But why did this moment become legendary? Why did millions of people around the world share this performance? Why did Simon react so strongly? It's simple. There was honesty in his voice. A purity. A love for music that couldn't be faked. And Simon Cowell responds to real talent. He respects people who work hard, who come from humble beginnings, who step on stage not to show off but to share something meaningful. This Filipino singer wasn't trying to be Elvis. He was trying to bring back the emotion, the soul, the heart of a classic voice, and he succeeded. After the audition, online clips went viral. People from the Philippines were proud. People from other countries were shocked. Even fans of Elvis commented that this was one of the most incredible tributes they had ever seen. The performance crossed borders, crossed languages, crossed generations. It connected people the way music always does. And Simon Cowell's face during the performance. Priceless. That expression of disbelief, of admiration, of joy, it proved once again that talent can come from anywhere. That passion doesn't need permission. That dreams can grow in the smallest places and still shine on the biggest stages in the world. That's the magic of moments like this. It reminds you that talent isn't about fame or money or expensive training. It's about heart. It's about how much you love what you do. And that's exactly what this Filipino singer showed. And that's why Simon Cowell couldn't believe his ears. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who loves powerful auditions, incredible voices, and unforgettable surprises. I'll see you in the next video with another jaw-dropping performance that will blow your mind.